Oh, hello. You're back. Glad you stopped by to check in. Well, I suppose I should tell you how the day went. But first, I'm going to tell you about how the day did not go. And in order to describe that, I'm going to break it down from morning to night. So, usually, ever since I got this journal, I normally update it first thing in the morning. I did not update it first thing in the morning. I had the day off and also had complete and total free reign of the house, which usually means the procrastinator monkey gets unleashed inside of my brain, which means a whole lot of YouTube. Now, what did I watch? Well, I watched a Digital Foundry review on the new RTX 5090 graphics card, which is really only a 30% increase from the 4090, which signals to me that just wait until the 6090 at that point. It's like upgrading your PlayStation 5 to your PS5 Pro. The upgrade is so minimal and not very noticeable that it's not even worth getting excited about. I mean, sure, now you have technically you have the best in graphics technology, but if you already have a 4090, what's the point? You know, that's the way I see it. Anywho, after that whole graphics technology debacle, what else did I watch? I'm trying to remember. Spending my valuable, limited time on this planet. Okay, so here's what I watched. There was this 50-year-old self-made artist who was recommended to me on my YouTube recommends page, because I guess it gathers my watch data information on what I do, and then it puts it in an AI, and then result that is a close approximation to something that I would enjoy watching popped out on the other end. And in this case, it was a 50-year-old loner who talks about loving being alone and loving being his own boss, because that means that he is able to make his own rules and ride his own ship. And he was basically describing how he finds that so great and so thrilling because he's not influenced by anybody but himself. And he did mention that he does have a daughter and a wife, or, well, he said girlfriend, not wife, sorry. But those are like the only two people who he stays into constant contact with. He doesn't really regularly go out and talk to other people. Now, I mean, everything he said sounded like very bold, but at the same time, I didn't see any of his work. I'm gonna have to look up his work to see what a 50-year-old loner draws and make my opinion on if it's any good. I just thought, wow, I wonder why Google recommended that to me, or YouTube. It's very strange. I mean, Google owns YouTube, so yeah, there you go. Anyways, and then I watched a graphical comparison to a Donkey Kong Country Returns remaster from a huge fan of the series. So much so they make documentaries about Donkey Kong Country, which is pretty interesting, I guess. I don't know if I'll watch those, but that's what he was advertising in the videos. Anyways, basically, he talked about how the game is like 1080p and it looks very nice now, and the colors really pop and the textures are more detailed. But the two big problems with this remaster is that the frame rate is not consistent like it was back in the old Wii version of the game, the Wii console that the game originally came out on. And another thing he said, from what I can remember, is that the load times were ridiculously long. Like, holy cow, were they long. Which is a shame. I mean, compared to the Wii version, which was running off of a disc, the Wii version loaded much quicker than the Switch version, which supposedly is loading from solid state storage. So, I mean, it's not a SSD by any means. It's still fairly old, writable technology, but it is solid state technology, which means it's technically supposed to be faster than a laser reading from a disc. But apparently the engineers who made the original Donkey Kong Country Returns did a much better job at optimizing that game to the point where load times on a disc were way faster, or at least noticeably faster than they were in the supposedly better remastered version of the game. It's crazy. What can I say? Anyways, after satisfying my curiosity of those videos, I decided to watch this video, my previous video I filmed, to better understand my behavioral patterns and my choices, and just kind of remind myself that I'm still on this road to progress and I'm never going to stop this road to progress as long as I live. You know, this is a new me, and I'm not going to let my laziness stop me from achieving great things. So that's what I was reaffirming by watching that previous video. And then after that, I thought to myself, well, I'm kind of bored, and I have the day off. I've got all the time in the world, and also I need footage for a new video project. So what am I going to do? And then it hit me. I recently got my virtual reality headset back from mail, and there was a free giveaway game for PlayStation Plus Premium members called Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. And I thought, I've never played that game before. I mean, I like Star Wars. I don't love it as much as I used to because I feel like the fan base has gotten a little too toxic for my liking, and the output, the quality output for recent films and TV shows has been kind of, I mean, I gotta be honest, I've only seen the first two of the sequel films, and Rogue One and Solo: A Star Wars Story. And I think the film that broke the camel's back was Solo: A Star Wars Story. How did I even get on that? Oh yeah, I was talking about that Star Wars VR game I was playing. I don't know, I guess I get really passionate when it comes to things I like. What can I say? Anywho, I put on the VR headset that I got back in the mail, and started playing this game. And in the beginning, it was quite a slow experience. It was kind of like plotty alongy, and I don't know, I guess like I'm expecting edge of your seat action from beginning to end, but the beginning was really taking its time, and it didn't really pick up until like the later half of the tutorial, when like you had to start defending yourself against space pirates, and that's when it got exciting with like dual wielding guns, and then when you take out an enemy you could take their gun and use it as like defense. Oh, that was so cool. Like, I actually filmed footage of me playing this game for the first time, and I'm whittling and editing that down right now. I'm really only doing it because I want a project to challenge myself, something that I want to take the unwatchable, to me at least, and make it watchable. So that's what I'm doing. And the thing that makes it difficult is the audio quality. That's the big thing. There's a microphone on the VR headset that I totally could use. I just thought about that right now. I could record myself like talking throughout the game with high quality audio and even high quality footage of the game itself, and kind of edit that together with the footage of me playing the game in the third person with a camera, like what's going on right now. Wow. But the audio was the big hurdle for this video project, because I didn't have a personal microphone. I just did this on a whim. And so now I have to really think hard about how to pull this off. And it's going to be really hard, but most things worth doing are difficult. So yeah, I'm going to get this done. I'm hoping to get it done by tomorrow. That's the goal, but due to work eating up a huge chunk of my time and me probably being very exhausted by the end of the day, I'm not sure if that's going to happen, but for sure my next day off, which is the day after tomorrow. So I was like editing that video, and then my mom wanted me to get dinner for me, family, and a family friend, and someone else living at her house currently. And so I decided to try out this new burger joint called Crunch Burger. And Crunch Burger, it was pretty awesome, not gonna lie. I thought it was delicious. The reason it's called Crunch Burger is because the cheese they use for the burger, they fry it and crispify it perfectly. And then, so when you eat it, you're eating like the grease of the cheese mixed with like the crisp of the fried cheese and the patty, and the meat tastes pretty fresh to me. Although the fries were frozen, I could tell because they had their whole kitchen out in the open, very transparent, which I liked. And you could open that fridge, and freezer, and there was the French fries up there. So the French fries are not fresh, but most fast food places, the French fries aren't fresh. I think like the only place where the French fries is fresh is probably like In-N-Out here, but that's the best example I could think of. Anyways, yeah, this place was great. And as dessert, I got a malted Oreo milkshake. My friend got a malted Butterfinger milkshake. It was so good, so tasty. I love malted milkshakes, especially like cookies and cream or chocolate. Like, those are my two faves. I mean, I could eat any one really, but those are my top choices right there when it comes to a milkshake, especially a malted one. And before we went to the restaurant, even before my family friend arrived, so we could go to the restaurant when my mom suggested it, I decided to work on my journal. Let us take a look at this journal together. Okay, we got so much. We've got today, I'm grateful for having a day to relax and enjoy getting some much needed time, much needed me time, and continuing my journal quest. Very nice. My goal, finishing a short video project and release to the world while continuing my tutorials, exercise, and watch what I eat. I did 3 of those 4 things, not releasing that video I'm telling you about. And then 20-minute app tutorial, I completed that. 20-minute lines and shape tutorial, I did that. And log in meals and exercise, I did that. And I specifically said, drive to Crunch Burger, eat dinner, zone in on video project, and I want to do all this between 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock. But turns out that the video project consumed a lot. Well, actually, eating dinner and the video project consumed a lot more time than I was expecting. In fact, I went over budget on my time. So instead of 7 to 8 for dinner, it lasted from 6:30 all the way to like 8 o'clock. And when it came to editing the video, it went from like 8:30 all the way to 9:30, and then after that I spent time watching the uh different things on YouTube and kind of got sucked in a YouTube rabbit hole before deciding on doing 20 minutes of Adobe Premiere Pro studying and 20 minutes of lines and shapes tutorial. This time I did not draw anything today. I am sad to report. Most of the time I spent just writing down what was being reported on in the video, and I shall read that to you now. So for lines and shape notes, I wrote, it's better to volumes and solids. Oh gosh, that. Future me for reference. When writing your notes, please make them make grammatical sense. It's important to understand contour because it is very important to understand three-dimensional shapes. Knowing the difference between 3D and 2D is very important because 2D helps you understand basic shapes while 3D helps you understand basic forms. Seeing the right side of the box allows new perspective. Having depth and dimension adds so much to any art piece. Creating the illusion of depth and dimension and volume will allow you to understand the model you are aspiring to draw. You can make your art pop by adding shading around any object. To understand the ellipse, you must draw a lot and practice a good guide to the ellipse with something like a can. This understanding of how to draw the ellipse can help you better understand depth and curves and how rounded objects work. Nail down cross contour. And then additional line and shapes. Getting a light drawing board is preferable because it is softer and lighter to carry. A handle on the board would be handy. So far this all sounds like pretty no-duh information to anyone who has a even passing interest in becoming an artist, but I mean, I was taking all these notes based off this 2-hour long video that I actually told you about last video. And I'm hoping that, much like that Star Wars game, it starts out slow and obvious, but as it continues, it gets more exciting and exhilarating. So that's my big hope. Oh yeah, did I tell you what I ate for breakfast and lunch? Well, 2 eggs on buttered toast with coffee for breakfast, and 1 hot dog, which was grilled on our grill outside, and paired with a sesame seed bun, which was also grilled outside, because we lacked hot dog buns. The condiments were mayonnaise, mustard, and ketchup, and it was eaten around 3:01 p.m. So yeah, pretty full day. My general thoughts for the day were, I notice when I have time off and I'm home alone, I love to procrastinate on the things I need to get done. I guess when I have complete and total freedom, I like to do nothing. I guess I learned something new about myself today. What do you know? So, Premiere Pro tutorial. We'll just read this real quick. Audio mixing. Download assets into resources. Use audio purposefully. Change workspace to audio. Audio Track Mixer allows you to add granular changes to audio tracks. To change workspace, go to top right, click on the icon that looks like a square with a little circle at the top right corner, and click on audio. You open and toggle the audio mixer so what effects you add to one track affects all sound on that one particular track. When adding music, make sure it fits the scene. You can layer audio on different tracks to add depth and realism to your soundscape. To change pitch and volume of a track, go to Mixer, click the top arrow of the gray drop box. You want to work in the gray box because it's easier to delete effects you no longer need or want, or move clips to the affected tracks so your desired effect will alter the clip you want to change. Go to Filler and EQ and then Parametric Equalizer. double click on it and add the preset Vocal Enhancer or Vocal Enhancer for all those Dr. Evil guys out there, which adds bass and makes voices sound crisp. You can even add a denoise filter for a more professional presentation. So those were all the notes I took, and the quote of the day, which actually it's the first time I'm reading the quote, so this is a big one. Knowing what must be done does away with fear. Rosa Parks. Oh, very important person and a very important quote. And with that, that is the report of the day. Thank you for listening for my long, ranty, rambly mess of a speech, or to my long, rambly speech. It's tired. I'm tired. It's okay. It's time for bed. Take care, everybody. Have a good one.